Good day and welcome to this episode of the Modern Musicking Show. Today we have an interview. It's actually our final deep dive interview. We're kind of mixing things up, as I've mentioned to you before. We're meeting with Kristin Heath today. She was the head of the music library here at Carnegie Mellon. She's also part of the Diversity Inclusion Committee. We're going to talk some about that. We have a very fun, I get another lesson. And you're going to, what am I getting a lesson on today? Trombone, I think. It's my second trombone lesson with Malik. And then we have a cool cello performance. Isn't that so? And a music history moment. We hope you enjoy it. Perfect. All right, we have a deep dive today. We're in the library. Believe it or not, I found the library. So we're going to talk to Kristin Heath. Kristin is the head librarian for the School of Music and also teaches and does all kinds of really cool stuff. So thank you very much for talking to us today. So what all does entail your responsibilities here?
The main was answering music reference questions, so checking email every day to see who needs music and answering any research questions. I also decide what to order for the music collection as far as book scores and recordings. And you've been a great help as far as recommending materials for the tuba euphonium collection. So really I just work with students and faculty on what they'd like to see in the collection. Mm-hmm. And then also I catalog all the music scores. I don't catalog the books or recordings, but all the music scores. And then I teach a mini course, so Intro to Music research for the music graduate students.
How long is a mini course?
7 weeks.
7 weeks. And so that is, everybody has to take that class?
They do. It's a required course for the music grad students.
Nice. For the graduate students?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And then how do the undergrads learn what they need to know?
Really, it's being invited into different courses. So Dr. Wiloshin, I've been at her Music History 3 students classes, and now I'm working with Dr. Christopher Lynch for his Music 1 history students. And that's basically usually tied to a class assignment or, just giving them an introduction to the resources.
You have a problem or a need, and then you just sort of follow your nose. Yeah. I see. How long have you been doing this here?
I've been here 16 years.
Holy cow. Wow.
Yeah.
And was this what you set out to do when you were studying music?
Yeah, I started working in the library as a work-study student at Ohio University. So my bachelor's is in oboe performance from there. And so I actually started in the Southeast Asia collection at OU. And I was actually more excited about working in the library than whatever I was majoring in.
Wow.
And then I transferred over to the Music and Dance Library at OU and was able to work there while doing the coursework.
So how far into your undergraduate program was it when you changed your mind, or when you decided to go in that direction?
My freshman year, I was actually a photojournalism major, and I switched my sophomore year to music performance.
I see. And then the interest in library came
I was
on the heels
excited
of it.
on day one of being on campus and just really wanting to work in the library.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Why do you think that was? I mean, what was it about it?
I think it's just the environment. So having all these resources, and it's also like detective work. And so just trying to find that answer for myself or someone else is kind of what drives me.
Mm-hmm.
I love detective work.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
This is a huge question, but in what ways are technologies affecting libraries?
The biggest thing I'm seeing right now is the electronic scores. So a lot of them are in PDF format only. Composers are now, sometimes it's cheaper to just self-publish rather than go through a publishing house. So now my thing is, well, it comes in email. I have to figure out from the composer, do we have permission to print this out and put it on our shelves? Some composers might want it to be available electronically as print on demand. Some don't. Some may just expect you to print it once and that's it. And so that's my biggest thing is, how do I handle these PDF scores and preserve them over time? And there's actually an article written recently by someone at Indiana University about coming up with a standard way of doing this, like best practices, because we're all kind of dealing with
It's kind of the Wild West right now.
It is kind of right now, and even with recordings too. A lot of times we can't get the CD version. And so if it's not in the database we subscribe to, how do we make that accessible?
I see. So what happens in your class, in your minis? What do we do?
In the mini, it's called Music Research Methods, but it's really an introduction to music research for the graduate students, and it's geared towards helping them prepare for their comprehensives, which they have to write a program note if they're a performer, or if they are a composer, they do a research paper. And so it's really just introducing them to the print and electronic sources that will be most helpful to gather the information rather than just Googling or using non-academic sources. And then they learn to, like what makes a good program note, we go into looking at examples of things we like. We talk about what we like, what we don't like, and then how to cite information correctly. So even though in a program that you go to a concert, you wouldn't see a bibliography and footnotes. I make them do that aspect of it, because anything that they're researching, it's great to have that record of just for their own use, you know, just going forward, what did they use? And then they can take all that out, you know, for the performance, but at least they have a record of what they do.
All right, let's change direction. So one of the other things that you do here, one of your other responsibilities, you co-chair the Diversity and Inclusion Committee, which is a relatively new thing at the School of Music. Can you talk a bit about what that is, why it started, what you do, kind of just sort of give us an idea of what all is involved?
Sure. So I co-chair this committee with Professor Thomas Douglas, and Dennis Colwell, head of the School of Music, asked Thomas and I to co-chair this committee, and he selected some staff and faculty and students. So we had about 13 people, now we're down to about 11, who started meeting in December of last year, so it hasn't been quite a year. And our charge was basically to gather information and what's the state of diversity and inclusion within the School of Music right now, so that, you know, we can then decide, and Dennis can decide, well, what do we need to address and how do we do that? So we're not quite at that stage. We're still very much in the information gathering stage, but we're also kind of simultaneously having worked with the students over the summer. There were students around, so I met with them, and shout out to Tucker Helms and Krishna Raman and Leah Stevens, and then also Alexa Woloshin and Emily Rabinsky-Benish was on our committee for a while, and Megan Grady. But I think the goal is just to identify or name problems. That's something Chernell's office said, you got to name what the issues are before you can fix them.
That makes sense.
And so we're still trying to figure out to name those things, and just kind of go from there.
Well, this has been great. Kristin Heath, thank you so much for sitting down to talk to us. All right, we look forward to talking to you again. Lance Learns to Play today is my next lesson with Malik on the trombone. So what am I going to learn to do now, Malik? You're holding your mouthpiece.
Yes,
all right.
I'm holding my mouthpiece. I've pulled it out because you have to learn how to buzz on the mouthpiece. And the mouthpiece is pretty much the main component of the horn, because without it, you can't do anything.
You can't.
Really. I mean, you could try. No.
Okay.
So what you do first is you create sort of, I guess, not really a frown, but you want to close your lips and do a like a buzz. Yeah. Like that. And it depends if you want to play low or high. It depends. But just put
So what's the, if it's, are you doing something different if you're playing high or playing low?
So if I'm playing high, typically my lips are a little tighter and it's a faster air. It's like almost high. And when I'm playing low, it's like a
looser.
It's like almost like that. For some notes anyway. So you just want to put the mouthpiece to your face.
And should I put it in any particular place?
No, it doesn't matter.
So just sort of in the middle?
Just like right in the middle, yeah. Just... And what I played there was pretty much a B flat, just a standard, just bam, just ba. So that's like.
Should I have it more on the top or more on the bottom, more on the left, more on the right, or does it make it?
No, everything there is fine.
Right
it's
in the
just
middle.
right in the middle for the B flat. Okay. Now, if you want to play something lower, that's a low B flat. You'll want to shift your mouth a little bit down to.
Shift your mouth down. What do you mean?
Yeah, so like you want to do more on your bottom lip than tighten up, loosen up, then.
That kind of a difference, yeah.
Indeed. And then for a higher note, say. You want to be nice and tight up here. Not too tight, because you still want that air to get through and get that note.
Okay.
Okay. And that's pretty much how you buzz on a mouthpiece. And when you do that, you put it on the horn now. And you don't even have to move your slide out. You just... Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, that's pretty much how you get your sound out on the trombone.
And now if I want to play a series of notes,
now if you want to play a series of notes...
They're all still that note. If I want to interrupt the note, how do I do that?
If you want to interrupt the note, well then you would use your tongue. So if you have a B flat... What I just did there was completely stop the note by interrupting my airstream completely.
So you pulled your tongue out of the way, and the wind went through, and then you stuck your tongue back in.
Yeah, I just stuck my tongue back in and it stopped the wind. Yep, just like that. And now, if you take that concept and you just do it lightly and not for too long, you'll get an articulation.
And now, is the tongue going to come all the way through my teeth and all the way through my lips?
No, you ideally will want your tongues to hit the top of your teeth or near the front of your gums.
So if I was saying a syllable, what syllable would I say?
I'd say a ta.
Ta.
Yes.
Ta sound. So ta, ta, ta. Then if I stick my tongue all the way into it, so...
Yeah, you get that sort of
weird
thwat,
sound.
thwat, thwat sound.
Thwat, thwat.
Nobody wants that, but
thwat,
yeah.
thwat. Okay, very good. Awesome. All right, so that's how to get a general sound out of a mouthpiece, high notes, low notes, and then how to articulate. All right, Malik, trombone, articulation, mouthpiece, Lance, goodbye.
Hi, my name is Matthew Brygelski. I am a clarinet major here at Carnegie Mellon, and I'm here to talk with you about Mr. Stanley Drucker, the former principal clarinetist of the New York Philharmonic. Stanley Drucker is one of the most influential clarinet players in that he not only premiered Aaron Copland's Clarinet Concerto, but he also played in the New York Philharmonic for 60 years, one of them under the direction of Mr. Leonard Bernstein.
All right. What's so funny? What are you holding your nose for?
Is it gonna fall off?
Your nose? That would be
My
funny.
nose is cold. It's cold.
Old reservoir. Yeah, it's fresh. Ta-da. Now I'm nervous.
Hi.
No, I'm just no.
Well, that's a lot of lights.
All the better to see you. Hey, we have another deep dive. Today's deep dive. Michelle, you can't laugh. No laughing. Hold it together, kid.
Go on.
I feel so bad when you told me
It's perfect. I like how much you were entertained by that. You cracked yourself up. That was really good. Hey, thanks for watching the show. If you want to reach us with questions or comments, you can figure out all the ways to do that by clicking on any of those links and wherever you're watching this thing. We've had a great time putting these together and hope you find them useful as well. Thanks for watching.